ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely, the shimmering, Devine.
I gave you permission to watch the clock because we could talk for a long time about foster care and all the good works of our queen, Lauri Burns. Love you, Lauri. So thank you for having me here today and for the good works that you all are doing here. I love my OC people. Thank you so much for stepping up. And the models, fantastic. Clearly, we are grooming the next generation to give back and be concerned about greater society. So on that note, let me begin by saying happy early Mother's Day to all the moms out here. We celebrate you. Which means I also give a shout out to the mom-like friends. Who doesn't have the mom-like friend that we turn to from time to time? The supporters, we are so grateful for you. To all the moms who stepped up in the greater family of foster care, adoptive mothers, we support you, we salute you. To the grandmothers, we know your role is invaluable. And to the moms like mine who we've lost, who are watching down from above, we stand here today as a product of your guidance, your lessons, and your legacy. To all of those, I have to address this because I do work with youth from foster care. If you've had a tough time, perhaps, with your mother. Who hasn't had a tough time with their mother? Anybody here? Okay. We know that it's such a reality for some, and we just want to say that we stand here today in strength and courage, surrounded by support, on a gorgeous day in Newport Beach. And to all of our supermodels, thank you. It takes courage to walk that runway. I was thinking back to when I was in high school and did a little fashion stuff myself, and I remember we had to walk around the tables and somebody said, "Your shirt is on backwards." I don't think I ever got booked by that designer again, but it was fun. All right, we are here today to support the Teen Project OC. Wherever your mother is, whatever the relationship with your mother, I'm sure she would be so proud of you being here today to give back on a Sunday, on Cinco de Mayo Sunday. We could be somewhere else, having a margarita right now. There's still time in the day. We are empowered by our young girls and for our young girls. Because this is a fashion event, I thought I'd start with some fashion quotes. From designer Donna Karan, she offers these words of wisdom. Whatever you've been given, it is to give back. And thanks to all of you who stepped up today to give back. Another one from Donna Karan, who launched in the 80s, one of the most iconic names in American fashion. She says, everything that I do is a matter of heart, body, and soul. Diane Furstenberg, who gave us the fabulous wrap dress. Who doesn't have a wrap dress? From Diane Furstenberg. If you're my age, you know it. She says, I wanted to be an independent woman, a woman who could pay for her bills, a woman who could run her own life. I became that woman. She said, there's no better designer than nature. It's not all about the material or the things we wear. It's the sunshine outside, the air that we breathe, the trees that we see. How about this from the ever so funky and fabulous Betsy Johnson? An example of someone who used her uniqueness to bring creativity and feminine whimsical style to the world. She says, I realized that my strength was in being different. Anybody else ever feel different, like maybe you don't quite fit in? There is a place for you. Betsy Johnson says, celebrate the idea that you don't fit in, find your own fit, and stay unique. Each of these top designers are mothers, who I'm sure had to balance, like so many of us, being a mom, a daughter, a friend, a businesswoman, an icon. As a news anchor in Los Angeles, I'm often asked, do you have to buy your own clothes? The answer is yes. Yes. I emceed an event with the Women of Coast about a week ago. It was at South Coast Plaza. You know I stopped by the sale rack at the mall. Got me this little sequin something. Thank you, South Coast Plaza, for being a true part of the OC community. As a news anchor in Los Angeles, I am proud to have brought the Teen Project story to Fox 11 News. I first met Lauri at a speaking event and was like, wow. when I heard her story. Beyond the news stories we've been able to cover over the years, we've also profiled the good works of designer Rachel Roy, who came in with her daughter Ava Dash. They came to the Freehab Project in Sun Valley to decorate some departments, the rooms for the girls. I brought my team on board. It's a residential center, combines drug treatment and technology to springboard youth lacking a family into a life of success. My team was able to piggyback on what Rachel and Ava were doing. I mentor a few young people, and I said, okay, in return for me mentoring, we're going to do give back projects. So with me today is Sarah Middleton, and where's Keith on camera? There's Keith on camera. They're my personal production team. They show up to document everything. My dear friend Leslie Siegel, former owner of California Closets OC, when I said we need some shelving at a domestic violence shelter downtown for women who have gotten into apartments downtown, she stepped up to build a library there for us. When I said, I have a Wednesday's child father. He's adopted a lot of kids. He's getting a little bit older. He's kind of become a hoarder. We need to step in and get that man some shelving. Leslie in California Closets stepped up for that. It is so about giving back where you're at with what you do. That to me is the easiest thing. You own California Closets, step up with some closets. And Leslie has done that. To my young people, I ask them to give where they are at. I mentor a young man who's been incarcerated. My adopted brother was incarcerated, so that's an issue that speaks to me. He showed up to help out with the day that we were doing the decorating with Rachel and Ava, just to carry those paintings, carry pillows, make the beds, help decorate. So that's the way he was able to give back, to show up. I mentor a young singer who said, once I got married, the male producers don't really want to help me now. So I said, I will help you. She showed up, her husband is an artist. They painted some paintings for the location at Freehab. It's about just doing what you do. That's the easiest way. Young models who showed up today, thank you for walking that runway. We appreciate that so much. On this Mother's Day, I think of my own late mother who passed away about a year ago from cancer. To my surprise, because cancer does not run in the family. I don't know what happened there, God. But I think back to the lessons, and one thing she told me when I was young, she said, "You're no better than anyone else." I thought, well, wait a minute, are you sure about that? But my mother was so humble, not in a fashion at all. She was led by example. She was a small town girl who had asthma her whole life, very sickly, almost died. She joined the Peace Corps and went off to Brazil. Didn't make her mother happy at all about that. She was a nurse in the slums of Brazil, and she was so beautiful, but didn't even see her exterior beauty. Looked a little bit like Sophia Loren. They used her on the cover of the magazine for the Peace Corps. She came back to upstate New York and became an inner city teacher in Buffalo, New York. Then when we relocated to Arizona, speaking of troubles getting along with mother, she's like, we're moving away from grandma. Moved to Arizona, and she became a teacher there. She taught ESL to help our Spanish language children as well. Became a science teacher of the year for the state of California. She did marry, so my stepfather's name is Devine. That's where I have that name. And together they adopted a boy. Oh, they had a kid too. I can't forget my sister Danielle. I always forget Danielle. Sorry. They adopted a Latin boy and fostered 5 Vietnamese refugee children who were smuggled out one by one on boats, as their father was in the South Vietnamese military and was put in a re-education camp. Proud to say one of those brothers is now a Navy doctor about to ship out yet again after serving in Afghanistan. I am proud of the women in my life. My grandmother, to me, was everything. Her and Mom didn't get along so much, but grandmother to me was everything. She led by example too. She was a businesswoman working at the clothing stores selling pantyhose. Remember we used to wear pantyhose like every day, all the time? Then she helped my grandfather run his business. He had a TV store back in the day when TVs first came out. She, to me, was everything. She thought I could do no wrong. My mom, wished I'd been a scientist. She said, you want to be on TV? You could have been an astronaut. Sorry, Mom. I did think, though, by being in news, I would be like my parents, who are both educators, constantly studying the planet and the world and the issues that matter to us. I remember my dad saying, you have to know what's going on in the world. You have to know what matters on our planet. And I think that's why we're here today, because we are becoming aware of what's going on with our youth in foster care. As usual, I bring somebody along. So, Sauri, I'm going to point you out. Can you stand up and give a wave? Sauri Carrillo, who is one of our models today in a blue suit and jacket. Sauri was on Wednesday's show when he was a young toddler. Okay, 8 or 10 maybe, 11, with his siblings, his sisters. We don't always hear what happens, but I did hear that the family had been in adopted families, adopted. He reaches out to me on Instagram as a grown young man. You can do that on social media these days, and would see my events and say, I didn't get the invite. So finally I said, okay kid, come along, you can be my assistant at a fashion show I was emceeing for a designer from Inglewood who asked me if I would MC his show. So he came along, I said, well, you're tall. You could model, you can do this. His very first show we took him was New York Fashion Week. Hadn't been on a plane since he was like 10 years old. He has now done New York Fashion Week 3 times. LA Fashion Week, Palm Springs Fashion Week, OC Fashion Week, Phoenix Fashion Week. And what I love about him is that when he shows up, he tries to help the other models, to help with the runway. He's there from start to finish, and this is a young man who's applying himself despite having been in foster care. And Sauri, I'm here to support you, and Paul, thank you for taking time to drive Sauri here today. You're a good friend. Thank you for coming, Sauri. But anyway, we all feel that negativity sometimes in society. So Tyra Banks says about ourselves, stop saying these negative things about yourself. Look in that mirror, find something about yourself that's positive, and celebrate that. Self-love has very little to do with how you feel about your outer self. It's about accepting all of yourself. Kylie Jenner, Forbes magazine is one of the top millionaires. Is she a billionaire yet? Yeah. She's a billionaire? Yeah, okay. How old is she? 20 nothing. Exactly. She says, every time I start to get worked up over something, I just think to myself, is it really going to matter in my life tomorrow, in an hour, in a year? You just can't get stressed about the little things because it's just not that important. She says, I change my style maybe every month. I'm like punk one month, ghetto fad, the next, classy the next. I'm just young. And to all of you young people, she says, I'm finding out who I am. We celebrate you today, and thanks for having me here with you.